So we started off with arts and crafts time, and we made our fake or paper copy of the bracket. Our original attempt was to have these angle cuts with the idea that it would come to the frame and hang out just a little bit to clear the body. What we're finding is that in order to get that to come far enough out from the body or from the frame to clear the body, we end up at such a severe angle out this way that the top of the coilover is actually outside the coilover bracket on the axle. So
and it's worse on the other side compared to this. And so when you're measuring everything, make sure you measure both sides at the same time before you start making cuts.
And in your expensive steel.
Yeah.
So what we ended up with is, we can see where we actually did cut the expensive steel. We've ended up with these 1/4-inch plates, and what we're trying to do is build a little bit of a box to bring the coilover tower out from the frame and then vertical alongside the body. The plate here on the top is to sit on, will be there to saddle the top of the frame, but it's also making the fitment of this so much easier because it can carry the weight while we're holding this in place. So I think this is fitment test 777 as we work through getting this to sit up here on top of the frame, tight to the frame,
then you slide forward.
And basically as far forward as the body tub will allow us. And then we use our coilover analog, our foilover,
yeah,
to try to verify that we are...
It's just basically a nice straight edge with a level. And it's kind of hard to see the bubble. It's a little dusty, but it's basically level.
Okay. So that's, again, several iterations, a little bit of trial and error in getting the placement. But in this case, we're ending up with the coilover bracket vertical as opposed to the leaning out that we were originally trying to do. Yeah. Double check. Really want it to be the same on both sides.
Yeah, we've already tacked it in on the other side, and we're just making sure we're symmetrical at this point.
Yeah, 9 inches. Nine inches. Okay, right there.
All right.
Don't move it. Cut. And there they are.
So it's time to final check. We've got these measured and located, and we've painted the back because we're not going to be able to get to the back. But we're doing our final check because tacks are easy to change. After it's burned in, it's going to be a little harder. So just getting our foil over here and just double checking our level, and it looks like we're good. Looks like it's exactly what we want it to be.
Cut.
And we're good.
Let's verify the other side.
Oh yeah, other side.
So a little experiment to see what this is going to look like when it flexes out. We have our coilover stand-in over there that was 21 inches in length. This is another segment of the same material as a stand-in for a coilover fully extended 35 inches in length. So you can see what it looks like when the axle flexes out. What we expect is going to be the limitation of the coilover shock.
So it's free hanging now.
Yeah, it is supported by the coilover brackets.
And we're almost vertical here. We're gonna have to deal with the vent tube because it is rubbing on the bump stop. So we'll figure something out about that. That's not too hard. And that is angled out nicely away from the body. And we are just probably a little bit off of vertical pulling in here, which is not ideal. We'll have to double check. Make sure that we don't have any interference issues.
Yeah, that does seem, and that may be a little bit of a function of what we did in the sense that the way it pulled over, but yeah, I mean, that's just, yeah, maybe slightly beyond vertical and quite a ways out here. Okay, so this is the real coilover. This is the stand-in. We don't have I bought springs for this yet, so we're not going to put it together for reals until we actually have all of the pieces. But we're expecting that to sit up about like so, and that's actually going to be surprisingly close to our actual full extended length. So one thing we do need to do is find a home for the
Yeah, I'm kind of looking right up in here.
Yeah, I kind of like.
Yeah, I originally had envisioned along here.
Yeah, we can do that.
There might be too much slack in the line to do that.
Yeah, we can do that.
We could make that happen as well. That wouldn't be too bad.
Yeah, and anywhere in this arc.
And we can certainly make it fit.
Okay.
Yeah, we could certainly make it fit back here as well. I kind of, in some respects, that's a nice spot because nothing back there is going to move, and it's pretty well protected from everything.
That's actually where I had thought it was going to go.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that'll work.
Yeah, that'll actually work well. Just want to make sure that nothing gets into that hose, but we should be fine.
We could clamp it up there, put some sort of bracket up there.
Yeah.
To contain the hose.
So, yep, I think that's going to work well. I think that's going to work very well. Because at this point we know that is the length, for all intents and purposes, of this thing fully extended. Yeah. And we know, because we verified, that is the length of the other side. So that is
full flex.
Full flex. Finished welding in the coilover bracket, painted it up, cleaned it up. Kind of the finished product before we actually install the coilover shock. So I think this actually turned out really nice. The little box, stepping out from the frame, worked very well. I think we've got good clearance, lots of good space here for these coilovers to fit in.
So we still need to top weld on top of the frame the rest of the tab. But that involves lifting the body to get it out of the way. So we will do that at some point in the future. Let the paint dry.
Yeah, let the paint dry and then get the body bolts loose again and lift it up just like we did with the top weld here on the back half kit.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's pretty good. Underneath. We dropped the axle down a little bit, took the bump stops off so we could paint all the surfaces. I'm pretty happy so far. And now we just have to wait for the springs to show up for the coilovers so we can get the coilovers in. Because they're back ordered, they should be here in what, a couple of weeks. So, yeah.